Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. Let me fix a little bit the sound. Please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear or the music is too loud. Welcome, it's another Friday where we talk about Amiga, and for today we are going to discuss about the PiStorm, PiStorm 32 Lite, which we started our journey last week with it, setting it up for this 1200, and today we are going to continue that and see how it goes, what else we can do. There are a few very interesting news that about PiStorm that we are going to see today here, and we will see how it goes. We will continue the installation of the AmigaOS 3.2 on the system, and my plan is also to install some essential software that is about PiStorm, things that you need to go online and all this stuff. But first I would like to welcome everyone in the chat. Amikit, welcome. Chitu77, I see that Amiga Live is there. Manic Weiner, welcome to the stream. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope you are going to have fun, and feel free to write anything you have in your mind in the chat related with the Amiga and how you use it, how you spend your time with your Amigas, if you have one, or if you prefer emulation, if you prefer Amiga ones or Morphos. Feel free to write about this on the chat, and let's have a discussion. The music that we hear on the intro is from the, let me switch, it's from the abime.net mods jukebox. It's a great website. You can listen to mod music through the day on your browser. It's great, and you don't need to download anything. I will let it play on the background. Please let me know if it is too loud and you can't hear me well. So if you would like to visit it, the website is mods.abime.net. Hello Smarcooks and Imek, welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. So last week we have seen the 1200 and the PiStorm. We set up the PiStorm on the PiStorm 32 and the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and surprisingly everything worked almost out of the box. We did the installation for the SD card and how you can set up the hard disk and the partitions and what you need to do through the installation process. And today we are going to continue that installation, but before that there are some news released I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and I would like to have a look on that with you. Manic Weiner says my 1200 died and the money is tight for repair, so I have a very nice FSUI setup which is easier to work with than real hardware now. I will get it fixed for nostalgia though. Yeah, it is always this situation where if you have an Amiga somewhere, even if you have many Amigas, if you have one that doesn't work, you always want to get back to that and fix it at some point. It is a bummer that your died. I hope that it is going to be resurrected soon, and have fun with that. On the other hand, the emulation is perfect. I strongly believe that emulation is a very good solution for us to have our beloved Amigas everywhere. and yeah, have fun with that as well. You can do whatever you want with it. Actually, I'm using emulation for especially when I'm developing applications. On my system, I have emulation about Morphos, AmigaOS 4 and AmigaOS 3, and I use it a lot. Hello JMA80, welcome to the stream. Manic Winer says, I find emulation easier on my eyes tracker output, than the SCART output. Yeah, you're right. And it's easier in many ways instead of fighting with the real hardware. On the other hand, people want to have the real hardware, and I understand it quite well. I couldn't do without my 1200s. If I ever decided to sell them, I am sure that after a while I would regret that. So we have this 1200 that we added the PiStorm. Let's have a look if it still boots. I haven't done anything with that except that I put some tape above the PiStorm just to make sure that it's not going to connect in any way with the plate of the keyboard, just for security and for me to have my mind more clear and not worry too much about that. Let's see, we have no signal. Maybe this is not quite well connected. Let's see how it goes. This scan doubler that I have here needs to warm up a little bit so that it works quite well. I don't know if that delay was coming because the PiStorm needs to load the firmware in the FPGA. I think it has a FPGA on it, but if I'm not wrong, it is quite fast. Hey SLD Snake, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. So what happens with the PiStorm, as much as I understand, and if someone knows better, or if you would like to correct me, please do. That's why we are all here to discuss, after all, and everyone learns from the others. So as much as I understand, the process of when you have a PiStorm is when you power it up, it uses the CPU that is on inside the Amiga. For this situation here, I have the 68020 that is coming with the 1200, right? It uses that to load the firmware of the PiStorm into the FPGA of the PiStorm. And after that, it does a reset and then boots with the emulated CPU through the Emu68. And as we can see here, it works fine. It booted fine. You remember from the previous stream that the lower side of the lower screen is cut on me because I think it's because of the scan doubler and because I need to scale up the image. I tried to fix it a little bit with the overscan and I moved it a little bit higher because it was something like that. But unfortunately it's not possible to have the whole screen, so bear with me on that because we will see how we can load RTG on it later today. So it works fine, great. Let's go and have a look on the news about PiStorm, right? So 2 days ago, the first stable release of Emu68 It was released on the official repository on GitHub. You see Emu68 1.0 2 days ago, and it has a few changes and fixes. So what would you say to have our first update on that, right? Final 1.0, yeah. So Wi-Fi, let's go. SLD Snake, yeah. That's the next thing that I would like to have a discussion with you afterwards. So we have the first stable version released. That's a great milestone. It has some fixes and improvements. I would like to see how this fast page 0 is working and what is the impact for the PiStorm. It says that when this option is in command line txt is given, the first 4K of RAM will be mapped to ARM memory. This can slightly improve performance when moving VBR to fast RAM is not an option. Okay, so I guess this is for some specific situations. I don't know if we are going to have such a situation here and see if that impacts anything, but since this is the latest release, I guess that you would agree with me to upgrade, right? The other news that was shared from Michael Schultz, who is the who is the main developer and maintainer of the Emu68 with his team, of course. The next thing that he was shared was, where is it? I'm looking now in the PiStorm Facebook group where a lot of things are shared there. So the next thing is information about the Wi-Fi, and it started showing some signs of life, as much as I understand. Javier, welcome to the stream. I'm out now, will try to go home ASAP, or might be offline. Yeah, absolutely. Hello. So about the Wi-Fi, I read yesterday that article, and what Michael shared with us in this article, and as much as I understood, because it is quite technical in some stages, is that he found some open source that is related with the with the Raspberry Pis, and it makes much more sense than what he had before. So he found all the problems and the errors that their code had, and now it is easier for them to develop some drivers for the Wi-Fi. And he already shared that he was getting information from the Wi-Fi device that shows that it is working. More technical information you can find on his Patreon website, and you can find link from the PiStorm group in Facebook. Javier says the good work WebKit, yeah, that continues. That is a big project, but continues. So that means about the Wi-Fi that this is going to be the next thing that they are going to focus, as much as I understand. And this is in the works. He said something like we are going to see new stuff quite fast. Now, I don't know what that means, if it is going to be in 1 month from now or 6 months from now, but it is coming. And the other thing that I saw in this group, and I would like to have a look on that today with you, is the new WHD load wrapper I plan to test some WSD load games, demos, we will see, on this Amiga with the PiStorm. I have never before used WSD load wrapper, so I don't know how it works, but the guys that maintain it and work on it, they created a new version. So if we have time later, we are going to have a look on that. And also, what else? I will show you how we can how we can transfer files into this Amiga, because I had a discussion a few days ago with a friend, Amiga friend, and he was asking me how is it possible to transfer easily files from your PC or another system to your Amiga if you don't have any access to internet, or you don't have a USB. So we are going to see that as well. So for now, I'm thinking to shut down this machine, take off the SD card and proceed with the upgrade of the Emu68. While I'm doing that, please let me know what do you think about PiStorm, and if this is something that you are using or not, if you like the idea or the news, and how you think that PiStorm is going to influence the Amiga environment, ecosystem. Also, yeah, I'm looking forward for one of the next streams to check and install AmiKit and see how it works on Raspberry Pi 3 B+. We will see how it goes. So SD card, my converter, connect it with the USB and see what we have. So the first thing that we need to do is cancel. Okay, we will need that folder that is from the USB, the SD card is the boot partition. If you haven't seen the previous stream, please have a look on the Twitch page, there is available, and also my previous stream is right now exclusively accessed to the monthly supporters on my Ko-fi webpage, but in 1 week from now I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and it's going to be publicly available. SLD Snake says, so PiStorm will be alive and continuing. Yeah, alive and kicking. It's a nice option also to have many options to our beloved Amigas. Absolutely, absolutely, because as I said, I think on my previous stream, if you have powerful Amigas, that will drive also the development, in my opinion, and more interesting stuff will come over, because people are going to be able to set up their fast Amigas cheaply and easily, cheaply in a way, with the Amiga ecosystem prices rising up. I don't know, if you don't have an Amiga, better to go with emulation, but if you have, to make it that powerful is quite cheap, I think, with the PiStorm. Yeah, people are going to write code more for these systems. MX says that he has a PiStorm 32 with Raspberry Pi 3B, good, a Gotek floppy emulator, and a PCMCIA SD card adapter. Great, great. No PiStorm here, says JMA, but tempted to try on my 2000. Yeah, that will be a great improvement, I think. As a CPU replacement only. Great, yeah. You know, with PiStorm you can have RTG, but if you have a Picasso on your 2000 or something like that, you don't need it. MX says that his 1200 was running incredibly I could run Hollywood. Yeah, and Hollywood is quite resource hungry development environment, let's say, especially if you want to have to use it on big resolutions on your system and you want to scale it up. But he decided to change to Raspberry Pi 3B for a 3A, and now it won't boot. Oh my god. I look into it this Sunday. Yeah, I hope you will find why it doesn't boot. I'm not sure if it has to do with the Emu68, but I think that it supports it just fine. Maybe something else. JMA says no Picasso, but ZZ9000. Oh my god, that card is powerful, and I envy you. It's very nice, and I'm not sure the way that it is built. It has so many things on it, especially with the module that it has for the FPGA. I think is it FPGA JMA? And it is quite interesting as project, but I am not sure yet, because I haven't followed that much on the development of this card, if it supports everything that it's meant to support, and if it goes to the limits. So let's go and download the latest version of Emu68, which is this one that we need, the PiStorm 32 Lite. Download it. And let's save it on my desktop. Save. Replace the old one. We don't need it anymore. Okay. And let me extract it. Sorry, let me use the 7-zip. Extract here. Oh my god. I will try again. Extract file to yeah, here. Okay, to a new folder, and then I will take those files. Now, from the boot partition, we can delete everything except the kick.rom, which is the ROM that we need for the PiStorm. And if you remember, this is the latest version of 3.2.1. Copy these files here. And I think we are ready to go. Let me check the config.txt. On the last line, it has the name of the ROM, so we are fine. They didn't change anything there. Also, on my previous stream, I was wondering if I can change to 68030 to be emulated, but I read that with the Emu68 this is not possible, so we ignore it. Limit total memory size 2 GB, necessary for CM4 and Pi4. Okay, we don't have something like that. Perfect. I think we are ready. So let me close that and eject the SD. Simply like that. I think the process of installing everything for Emu68 is quite easy. The only downside is that you need to remove the SD every time you want to do it, unless if you have an extension for the SD and you drive it at the back or somewhere from the Amiga outside to the outside world, and you can do it that way. Let me put it back without breaking everything. Great. Let's see if that survived and if it boots. JMA says, yeah, can play MP3s and stream internet radio on 030. Yeah, because I guess the card does all the decoding, which is great, the abilities of this card for the audio is like an audio player, because if you remember, the Prisma was an audio card and not something like the Sound Blaster that you can use to process audio and have filters on that or things like that. I don't know if the ZZ9000 is able to do it or not. Okay, we get a no signal. If we didn't do anything wrong, let's do a restart and see how it goes. Okay, we booted fine. The mouse is moving. Hard disk is fine. So we are great. Great. Next thing. Let's see what we can do. So I destroyed everything. Okay. Like that. So next thing is to download some stuff, some more stuff. I found that on Nikal's repository on GitHub there is the Emu68 tools. I think that's the package that is needed to manipulate and have some information from the PiStorm side. I don't know if you are aware, there are some applications out there. AmiKit has everything in his distribution, but I couldn't find some information where to find them. The only place that I found is this. So if there is a better place to find all the tools, please let me know. But for now, I will say let's download the latest release. Maybe. This is from February 2022. Here it has different zip files for different versions. So, okay, 3 weeks ago. Let's download these tools. Download it to on my desktop, and then let's go and download the WSB load wrapper, and then transfer them to the Amiga if we need. SLT asks if the ZZ9000 alone passed through the Pola audio via HDMI. JMA says no HDMI audio. Yeah. HDMI audio is a little bit tough, but if you want to do it, nevertheless, there are some converters where you have the HDMI and also you have an external, it has its own cable with that ends to a jack, and somehow this imposes the audio from the Amiga into the HDMI without this be done by the HDMI output of the Amiga. This is a good solution if you ask me, because You can use it on any Amiga that you want, and you don't need to mess with drivers that support it or anything. So, and the only thing is that you have an extra cable that connects to the Amiga audio. It's fine. So from this we have to download this readme.txt file and the WSD on my desktop and the WSD load wrapper, the latest version 0.0.7. I don't have a clue how this works, but we will find together. So for us, we need to transfer these files to the Amiga. So what I'm doing, what I prefer to do when my Amiga is not on the internet and doesn't have any USB, is to use something like that. I need to something like that. I think someone mentioned that on the chat earlier. It is a PCMCIA converter to CF card, and this specific CF card is a converter again to SD memory. And the memory that I'm using, this SanDisk memory, is it has a size of 16 gigabytes, and is one of the memories that I have found that it works quite well. The Amiga sees all the space, all that space, and it is great. And that converter supports that specific memory card. So this needs to be used. PCMCIA though needs some drivers on the Amiga side, and we will see how we can install them. But to fill up this, to add files into this PCMCIA, into this CF, let's say, card, I'm using something like a multi-card reader. You can find it anywhere, that takes different types of memories, and connecting that with USB on your PC, it's easy to transfer any file. So I'm going to connect it. The card, the CF card, or the SD card, as I have it here, needs to be formatted with FAT32 and is accessible from both Windows, Linux, and the Amiga, of course. So as you can see, I have a lot of stuff here. I have the whole Retry Plays collection of games, WSD load games, demos, and all the stuff. And I need to add the new tools for the PiStorm. So I'm going to create a new folder. PiStorm. And add these files here. So this is the fastest way if you don't have any other way to transfer files. I prefer this way, especially if I have to transfer too many files or big files instead of USB, because I think that this way the PCMCIA is much faster than even if you have a USB on your system. So the only downside is that if you use the PCMCIA to connect to the internet and you want to get files, then you have to disable it and remove the one PCMCIA and insert the other. For that situation, I have an FTP server on my NAS here on my house, in my house, and I can get files from the FTP, my personal FTP server. So if I want to transfer things, applications or software from any of the other systems. I just drop them into the FTP server and then I get it from my Amiga, which is also quite fast, depending of course the connection that you have to the internet, right, and the speed of your Amiga. As a solution though, it is quite fast. Let's disconnect it. So if you have the need to transfer files to your 1200 or 600, which are the only systems that have a PCMCIA, that's the best way for me. And we will see how we can install the drivers for the PCMCIA. JMA says SMB also works nicely with NAS. Exactly. The downside with the SMB, in my opinion of course, is that it's a little bit tricky to set it up, because you need to start a Samba service or use your Windows system. The newer versions of Windows require latest versions of Samba to have access, otherwise it doesn't work. I don't know if the SMB solution that we have right now for the Amiga, if it is up to date, or if it doesn't support, if you have Windows 11, does it work well? I don't know, I never used it. I think having an FTP is easier to set up. Usually all the NASes have a way to set up a space for FTP access, and if you do it, you don't need to make any different changes. And from the Amiga, if one thing Amiga does well is connect to FTP and download stuff, and we have a lot of software for that. SLD Snake says, if I'm not mistaken, there is a GitHub with SMB client supporting version 2 and version 3. Yeah, good. That's good. Yeah, JMA, there is both for both OS 3 and OS 4. The Morphos has on the latest 3.18 version that was released a few months ago, they have their internal solution, so as soon as you install it, you have the ability to connect to Samba, FTP, anything through the ambient, the window environment that they use. Let me see that the music struggles a little bit. If that happens, I usually do a refresh of the page. I hope it's not my internet. And to install the drivers for the PCMCIA, I will use the external codec that I showed you on the previous stream, which works quite well. I have an ADF there that I downloaded from the Aminet, and I will show you that right away. So I shut down the Amiga just to connect the codec. And I will start it again. Okay. Please let me know if you can watch the stream fine, because I see some issues here and I don't know if that is the case or not. Thank you very much, SLD. Thank you. Because I have seen some weird things. Cool. Thanks, Emek. Thank you very much for confirmation. So what we have here is, let me see if that works. It seems that my PC struggles for some reason. I will stop the music and we can get back to the Amiga and see if we can mount any drive, floppy disk from the Gotek. And let me find the disk that we need to install the drivers. So usually for the PCMCIA you need a driver to understand to mount the PCMCIA and disk, and also you need FAT95 as it is its name, which will help to understand the file system. Okay, let's see if this is going to be mounted through the Gotek. I don't see that working for some reason. Why? Let me shut it down again. This Gotek is the one that we used the last time to do all the installation of AmigaOS 3.2. So we know that it works, but let's see why it doesn't mount now. The nice thing with that is that if you shut down the Amiga and that shuts down as well, it remembers the last floppy that you used and it has it as the first choice. And what actually it does is it goes and writes a file with the name of the image and inside the USB, so it knows what to load. And we have here the CF installation disk. So this is a disk that I found on the Aminet. This was created by Vince GR. He's a good friend of mine, and he got all the files needed, and he created also a small installation script that installs all the files into the AmigaOS. And also, if you have a 1200, you probably know that the 1200 has a hardware bug that has to do with the reset of the PCMCIA, especially if you boot your system and you have a PCMCIA already connected there. So in that situation, you need some utilities from Aminet and have them installed on your system, and also having them running from your startup sequence. in one of my past streams that I did about the 1200 back almost 2 years ago, I showed exactly how you can install it, but Vince created that disk that has everything, which is great. It has here the files that you might need, card reset and card patch. It has also the startup sequence script that you need to add it to your own startup sequence. And also it has the installation script that will do everything automatically on its own, but you don't see anything because you see just the Amiga. So now you see my screen. It has the startup sequence, the installation script, the files, and also it has the devices that you need for the CF card. So what I'm going to do, because the installation is quite easy, I'm not going to bother right now with the card resetted card patch, but I will add the software that I need to make the PCMCIA working fine. So the only thing that you need to do is to go to your devices of your system, like that, and copy from the DOS drivers this file. Now, if you put it in devices, this file, every time you boot, this is going to be enabled, and whenever you insert a PCMCIA hard disk, it's going to be mounted. So I'm going to put it there, and also I'm going to put the compact flash device inside the devices. Sorry about this flashing, probably this is coming from the Indivision, sorry, not Indivision, from the scan doubler. It's not an Indivision. So these files are copied, and the last thing that I need to do is to go to the L folder. The L folder has all the needed folders, all the needed files for file systems. So I need to do show all files here, go to the L folder and copy from here the one file that it has, which is the FAT95. So if I reboot now my Amiga and everything works as it should, we should be able to mount the PCMCIA disk from this SD card. SLT Snake says maybe some occasional cuts in the music, but I can hear you fine. Great, great. Something is wrong with the system, and maybe it is overloaded. I don't know. I have to have a look. So I'm going to connect my PCMCIA and see if everything works great. Or if we need to dig further for finding any issues. It should mount by now. If not, we will see what we can do. Let's see. Cool. It mounted on the desktop. We have the hard disk. Let's see how it works. If it works, because I double click on that and nothing happens. It's a little bit slow. It might be because it is 16 gigabytes, but I have used that on my 1230 and it works just fine. Let's see how it goes. I see everything is a little bit slow. And having all this horsepower of the PiStorm, it shouldn't be the case, right? So let's see how it goes. Unless if it is something else that is not working. Again, I would like to remind you that this 1200 is 1D1 revision of the motherboard. I don't even know if it works well with the PiStorm or if it has any issues. So far it didn't show something like that, but let's see. Okay. It seems like it tries to load everything from this folder, but it goes quite slow. Do you guys have any experience with PCMCIA and PiStorm? If you have seen something similar on your systems or anything? It could be that something crashed and delays my system, so I'm going to do a reset. And let's see if that helps at all. Okay. Takes quite some time to load, to mount this disk for some reason. JMA says can't see your screen. You mean the screen that I'm sharing right now? You can't see it? Manic Weiner says, could the PCMCIA be RAM related? I remember there was an issue above 5.5 megabytes fast RAM when using PCMCIA in some configurations. I cannot remember why. I don't think that's the case. Maybe it will be better to install the card reset and the patch and see if that helps at all. SLD Snake says, I think I have used the PCMCIA with PiStorm in my 1200 back when I have it installed. Now I'm using a 600 and I can confirm that the PCMCIA works for me, CF adapter or even CD. Yeah, okay. MX says, I use a 4 GB CF card and it looks fast and it loads fast. Yeah. That's my experience as well with the 1230. So guys, I'm going to reset it, remove the PCMCIA, and I will install the patches and see if that helps at all. Because it looks a little bit weird. My experience with my 1230 is that PCMCIA works out of the box, and it probably could be the specific motherboard. I don't know. So let me copy this and this to C. Okay, and then what we have to do is to open that file and copy everything and open my startup sequence. So again, this ADF file, you can find it on Aminet, and the name is CF install 1.0. Okay, so before everything else, I'm going to paste that. SLT Snake says, I'm not sure about the patches on OS 3.2. No, it works, they work fine. I'm saying that because I use 3.2 on my 1230, the 1200 that I have with the Blizzard, that's why I'm saying 1230, and it works perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is do a reset, extract the ADF, and try again. Okay, let's try and see how it goes. Maybe that helps, maybe not. Hey, Cloaked Alien, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Today we are fighting with PiStorm. Right now I'm trying to make it work with PCMCIA card and be able to transfer files from there. It doesn't seem to work fine, and I'm trying to figure out why. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work for some reason. Oh, I see. Welcome to the stream. I hope you have fun. Yeah, everything is fine on my end. I restarted, as you can see, I restarted this stream, so yeah, I managed to persuade myself and do that, right? So yeah, the last days for this stream and the previous one, I started tinkering with the PiStorm, and we have a PiStorm installed in this system. And now I'm building the system. I'm doing all the installations and all the stuff. We had some interesting updates the last couple of days. So we did the upgrades of the Emu68. And now I'm fighting with the PCMCIA, which should work fine. Did I miss anything? Okay. Yeah, you see, it mounts it, but it takes so much time to access it, which is crazy. It's crazy because I remember that on my 1200 with the Blizzard 1230, this is instant. I can open the file and I can use it instantly. That should be quite fast. Now, I don't know if it has to do with the PiStorm for some reason. It shouldn't. It should work fine. And it's not that the drivers, the devices that I installed, are not recognizing it, because we can mount it, but it's deadly slow. We will see. And this is a 16 gigabytes of SD card having in my PCMCIA, and it has a lot of stuff in there, and yeah, it will be useful if we could access them. You see, the pointer always changes, and yeah, this flicker, this shutdown of the screen and coming back probably is coming from the scan doubler, which is a quite old one that I have since the 90s, and it needs some maybe change capacitors probably, or something else is not working quite well. That's why the screen has all these lines and all this stuff. SLD Snakes, is that a big card, 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes or something like that? It is 16 gigabytes. But as I said, I use it constantly on my other Amiga 1200 and it works very fast. I will propose to continue right now with the updates of the system, to have the AmigaOS 3.2.1 installed, because right now it's plain 3.2, and we will see if that makes any difference with the PCMCIA. It shouldn't, but I will suggest to go that way and see how it goes. On the other hand, it might be a problem with the motherboard, because it's 1.1D1, so it might not be as compatible as I would like that to be. So I have here the disks in my external Gotek, so let's go with a 3.2.1 installation. Update 3.2.1 and see how it goes. SLD Snakes, okay, I saw some delay like that with some big or weird ones, but if you have used it before, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's surprising for me as well, because I use it almost every time that I use the other 1200. I use it and I transfer files and it works fine. I don't know why it delays so much, or if it is a problem with the PiStorm. Thank you very much, Emek, for being here. Thank you. If you want to watch the rest of the stream, it's going to be on the Twitch, and in 2 weeks from now, it's going to be on YouTube. Thanks. Glad having you here. See you later. So, update 3.2.1. Install. I don't know how many of you have seen the process or done the process for the AmigaOS 3.2 and how to upgrade it. It's always easier to do it with a Gotek, because you just switch the ADF files. If I could transfer the files here, the AmigaOS 3.2 is able to mount the ADF files just fine, and you just double click on an ADF file and it is mounted, and then you can do the updates really fast. Okay, move the startup sequence so we can have a backup of the startup sequence. The only change that we did was about the PCMCIA, so it's not big deal for us. We have it elsewhere. Hello, Aris Amiga, welcome to the stream. You are a bit late, but don't worry. Don't worry at all. Yeah, we have some issues here, but that's why we are here. We have to solve them, right? Let's see if in the meantime we can have the music back and if it works now. Let's see how it goes. So Amiga Classics, oh sorry, classes. And also I would like, if we get access to the PCMCIA, I have there the latest version of Roadshow, which was released 1 week, 2 weeks ago. So it will be good to have that installed as well. I hope the upgrade is going to be fine and it will solve the issues. We will see. Otherwise, we have the next stream. I'm going to dive into it and find the solution and present it to you on my next stream. Unfortunately, situations like that happens all the time with the Amiga, but it's a good way to learn how to solve them and to learn how to make your system better, right? And that's the beauty of the Amiga. It's not everything you click install and everything works fine. You need to work on it, and it helps you learn a lot during this process. So it should work fine, but we will see where is the problem. It might be something that I need to configure from the PiStorm side. As I said on my previous stream, I never before used PiStorm. This is the first time that I'm using it. So we are together on this journey on learning how all this stuff are working, right? And that's a great thing, in my opinion. And you never know, maybe someone in a few months has the same problem and would like to learn how to fix it. So yeah, I would appreciate when the stream is on YouTube, if you could share it with others, so that if someone has the same issues, find some solutions. There are a lot of times that I am in discussions in forums that someone says, oh, I have that problem and I don't know how to solve that, and I'm sending parts of the videos of the streams that I did years ago, and I ask them to have a look how they can solve it. And that's what I'm doing also when I have issues. I'm trying to find solutions from others who had the same issues, and they try to find the best solution, right? That's how we learn things. So yeah, we will see. What would you say, what would you propose me to test? Because last week we discussed about applications. Some people said about Lightwave and Deluxe Paint. If you would like, write on the chat which applications you would like me to test, or which games. I know someone would like to test SuperFrog and see how it works using WHD load on this Amiga with the PiStorm, and see if that works quite well. But what else you would like to see? Some kind of demo? I will gather all your ideas and I will prepare to have them on the stream and see how they are working. And if there are issues that we can fix, we will do. But I would like your feedback on that, and tell me what would you like to see. Okay, so it's now complete. To enable release, to master boot your Amiga, remove. Okay. Remove it. And now we should be on 3.2.1. Okay, let's do the next one, 3.2.2. The external drive, when you have an external drive, usually what I have experienced is that if you don't have a disk in there, especially with a codec, This is not able to be mounted, and I think that it doesn't see at all the DF1. It doesn't see that there is an external drive, so I need to select the disk and then reboot, and then you see it is mounted, and after that I can switch to any disk without any problems. Now I don't know if that is a problem of the ROM, if it is a problem of the of how the AmigaOS is working. I don't think so, but we will see in the future. I always install the Greek language in case I need to do some tests here, because I'm also doing the translations, and it's always useful for me to have my mother language installed on the AmigaOS. Amiga said the music is a bit too loud, by the way. Maybe lower it down as it is more loud than your voice. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay. How about now? Sometimes the mod files that are playing, they are changing the volume. It's not, you know, the same for all the files. Okay, the screen is freezed, so for me to fix that, thank you G2 for letting me know. This it's a problem sometimes of the capture card. Let me try and disable it. Now it should work. Great. Thanks. Thank you guys. Sound is fine. Great. Thanks. Perfect. So we continue the installation, the update to 3.2.2, and then we have just the 3.2.2.1 which is a fast patch that was released after the 3.2.2 because there were some issues found after the release. So the AmigaOS 3 development team released the latest patch. I don't recall if I have it as an ADF or LHA only. We will see. Cloaked Alien, what do you plan to play tomorrow? Please guys, if you would like, follow Cloaked Alien on Twitch. He's doing a lot of, at least once a week, every Saturday, he's doing an amazing stream for a lot of hours. I don't understand how you manage to do 7-8 hours stream. It's too difficult for me. I can't imagine that. But yeah, his stream is very interesting. I watch it. I try to watch it every Saturday as much as I can. So what do you plan to have tomorrow? Would you like to share? And just to tease you, look, we have colors. And if I click here, more colors, and even more colors, even if it is a 32 color screen, right, for the workbench. Colors. I was asking you, what do you plan to stream tomorrow? Are you going to get back to some kind of game or something else? What's your plans? Are you going to fire up this vampire at all? Macintosh stuff tomorrow, but might use my Quandra 700 instead of the SC30. Okay, for more colors. Yeah, great colors. Setup, gonna do setup, then maybe play a full session of Civilization. April, Amiga stuff in April. Good. Yeah, because you are doing this Macintosh month, right? I have a couple of G4 Macintoshes from that era, but nothing on 68K, unfortunately. And I am not sure if I would like to get into that space. I don't even have so much time for my Amiga 68K, so I guess that messing with Macintosh for this is going to be quite hard for me. More stuff, more money, yeah, absolutely. But there are a lot of distributions, Amiga distributions, images that have emulated Macintosh in there with applications and games. Although I don't understand how someone plays games on the Macintosh. But yeah, they are included, and people seem to use them and like them. Yeah, having a DTP, for example, on the Macintosh side, it's something that I could understand it. And from that era, you know what they say, that the best Macintosh is an Amiga, because it runs much faster than the actual Macintosh. But yeah. I heard recently that there are some people working for a PiStorm version for the old Macintoshes. So have that in mind. Maybe you would like to have a look in case you can put a Raspberry Pi inside your your Macintosh and make it super fast. SLT Snake says, I watched Clock Italian stream some time ago. Nice retro stuff. I have to resume watching Twitch. This Volcano return was a good reason. Thank you so much, SLT. It is 1200, as much as I know. Okay. Yeah, I think that after the pandemic and people started going out, being on Twitch, watching Twitch videos was less and less frequent, at least for me. Not that I am every day outside the house. Usually I'm inside and tinkering with my Amigas. But yeah, I think people start watching so much. But in the end, when you are getting into streaming and your stuff, you are doing that firstly for you and then for everyone else. Otherwise, it might not make that sense. For me, I like being here with you all guys and have a discussion and share my passion with all of you, because I know that it is also your passion. So having fun, and whoever wants to be here, it's great. One last update. yeah, there are a lot of nice guys that are doing Amiga stuff and Amiga retro streams out there. I follow Nak Graham, who streams every Tuesday and Thursday, I think. Daedalus, he's doing every 15 days, usually on Wednesdays, streams. And he has done gaming, he has done development with Blitz Basic. And sometimes I jump on a stream that DJ Hoffman is doing, because I like his productions and also his games. I don't know how many of you, if you would like to share, ordered the Seconoid. Yesterday I got into the website of the distributor, and it was sold out. And yeah, I was pretty late for the party, but it is a game that I'm looking forward to have it on my own. I had the chance to test it on the Kickstart event that happened last June in Nottingham, which is a great game, and I'm looking forward, if it is released, at least as a download version, to grab it. Cloak says, yes, I ordered the Seconoid pretty much the first minute. You were with your hand over the buy now, eh? Good, good. I think that we all should support these guys who are doing all this amazing job with the games. Even if we don't have so much time to play. Myself, whenever I open my Amigas, I try to develop something. But sometimes it's good to play a game and relax. So right now we have the latest version of AmigaOS 3.2 installed, which is great. Let's see if the PCMCIA will work. Should I blow into this like people are doing with the NES? Let's see how it goes. But before that, I think in the old folder, sorry about this blinking, is the scan doubler that is behaving, and it doesn't work quite well. In the old folder here we have the startup sequence, right, and that startup sequence has the code we added about the card pads and card reset. Okay, both of these files are in C, so if we go terminal C, and if we do dir add like that, we have them there. Okay, so I will take that code, copy, and open the startup sequence. Here, and add that before everything else. Save it, great, and let's reboot. Thank you very much, SLD Snake, for being here. See you later, I guess, or in the next stream. Thank you very much. Daedalus, oh, speaking for the devil, welcome to the stream. Just a few minutes ago I was talking about you and your exceptional streams, and you are summoned. Welcome to the stream. SLD Snake says, let's see if I can catch the last minute of the stream. Yeah, possibly. If that PCMCIA doesn't work, we are going to take some time to make it work as much as I can. Otherwise, we will see how it goes. Yeah, Redalus, I was explaining to guys here that you are doing a great development streams, although that you are doing for Blitz Basic. It's basic after all, but okay, it's fine. I was saying that it was you are streaming every Wednesday, right? So when it's going to be your next stream, and what do you plan to show? Now we try to this system, in case you didn't catch the stream from the start. This system is a 1200. It doesn't have anything inside except a PiStorm with a Raspberry Pi. So we try to set up AmigaOS 3 on that, and I'm trying to get the PCMCIA work, but it doesn't seem to want to work at all. You see, it was there, I removed it, somehow it works, some other times it doesn't. So if it doesn't work, we are going to do something else. We are going to find a way. So it mounts, and if I try to access it, it is quite slow. And I wonder if that is a problem with the PCMCIA itself or with the SD card. We will see. Dedalus says, well, it's kinda irregular these days, just too busy at the moment, but when I can. Yeah, okay. Don't feel any pressure about doing streams whenever you feel like, and you want to show something interesting, right? Are you going to be in any? Are you going to participate in any jam this year? Are you making any game again? Yeah, that doesn't work. But we might have a plan B. Let's see. Let's see if we can at least install Picasso and have some RTG, play with some RTG on the PiStorm. We'll have to see, says Dedalus. I really need to finish my previous jam entries. Okay, but maybe, yeah. JMA says maybe something wrong with card format. Possibly. The file system for that is FAT32. What I'm going to do possibly tomorrow is to test it back with my other 1200 that has the Blizzard 1230 and see if that behaves the same there. So in that case, that means that the system, the card has issues. Invalid format. But if it works there, then possibly it's something with either the motherboard of the 1200, which is 1D1, or the PiStorm. I don't know. We will see. Because I don't know if accessing PCMCIA is something that uses chip RAM or anything, and you know that with PiStorm the chip RAM is quite slow. I think that they did something to fix that. I don't know how this is working. This is the first time that I'm using PiStorm, and I don't have a clue. So we find everything together. And that's what I would like to do, because I had the PiStorm for more than 2 months, but I always wanted to do it on the streams, because these streams is not for me to teach people things. It's for all of us together to find problems, find things, and try to solve them, and have a good experience and some good time with the Amiga. But I have here the Picasso 96. This is the version 3.3.3 as it is released by individual computers, which we can install. So I'm getting that from the external GoTech, and before to do that, to extract the LHA files, I need the LHA, because this is not included. If I open a new shell and write LHA, this is not included in the system. So I have, if I'm not wrong, another ADF that has something like that. That GoTech is very useful. So I have this. Excuse that blink because it's the scan doubler, and as soon as we go to RTG it's going to be much better. So if I go and do copy this 68040 to C as LHA, this should work fine. And since that is in C, if I do LHA like that, I get information. So that works great. Please let me know if I'm going too fast. Please let me know, and I can explain everything I do. So because right now I don't have an application that it has some user interface. We are doing things from the shell, as this is called in Amiga world. So if we go and we are in RAM, let me move it above, we have Picasso 96 there. I'm going to do some LHA X Picasso, and this is going to be extracted in RAM, and because we have PiStorm, we have a lot of RAM, so we don't care. Okay, perfect. Now when we are going to install Picasso and we have RTG, we will need to use another way to connect to HDMI. So we are going to add some hardware inside the 1200, and I will show you that in a minute. But before we do that, we have to go to the repository of Emu68, which can be found on GitHub, and follow the documentation about the cache. The documentation is, let me make it a little bit bigger if I can, sorry, like that. The documentation is inside the docs, tutorials, and there is a file p96 setup, and this has all the information. On this tutorial they are using Picasso 96 as you can find it in Aminet, the free version. Okay. But since I have access to the one of the latest versions, I will prefer to try and use the one that comes from individuals. So they extract the archive and starts the installation. So let me move it to the other screen and let's switch to the Amiga. Start the installation. I hope you can see that. Okay, proceed, first install, great, intermediate user. So P96 is a complex piece of software and requires some experience to install and configure. If you are a beginner with the Amiga and already have a working environment for your graphics board, you might think twice before installing P96. Okay. This version of P96 is a snapshot of the development and works on most systems. However, your system may differ in some aspects, and this version of P96 might fail to work on your Amiga. Okay, so please back up your current system configuration before installing P96. Before you go on, please disable your current graphics board drivers and reboot if there is any, otherwise your system will probably refuse to work correctly afterwards. Okay, because of the complexity of the different systems available, we can not perform this action automatically and choose to ask you to do this. Please refer to the manuals of your current driver software or read the appropriate section of the P96 manual. In a nutshell, it says, watch out what you are doing. You have to know what you are doing. Please read the documentation before installing a P96. Setup and configuration of graphics drivers is not trivial and should be done with certain things kept in mind. Do you want to read the manual now? No. I feel brave. Are you sure you want to abort? No. I want to not read the manual. Okay. So having on the other screen, I have the documentation that I showed you earlier for the PiStorm. What they propose to do is to select the Picasso 4 and then continue. The installation shows even more, but we don't need to select anything. Where do you want to have the P96 libraries installed? In libs. Where do you want to have the monitor? In devs monitors. Where do you want to have the P96 preferences programs Picasso 96 mode installed? In prefs. There is also a different version of setting up the Picasso 96 for the Amiga. There is a new preferences utility that is available on Aminet. This is developed by the same person who develops these drivers. It seems to be a little bit easier on setting up the Picasso. We might see it in maybe the next stream, but now we are going to use the one that comes with the in this archive. So where do you want to have the P96 settings file installed? In devs. Why not? Where do you want to have the support files installed? Sys Picasso 96. Yeah. Do you want to have the application drivers copied to your hard disk? Yes. Do you want to have the P96 printer paths to be automatically started on boot up? Printer paths, no. Okay, so it gives us the result of our options. Are all of these choices correct? Yes. Let's go installing P96. Please install the application drivers from the Picasso 96 home directory or from the driver disk. The installation is finished now and the installer hopefully copied all packages to the right place. Okay. Thank you very much for choosing P96, your P96 team. Thank you. Installation complete. Done. Let's see what the guide says to do. It says complete the installation of P96 now, but do not restart. This is bold, written in bold. Your machine yet. Instead, copy the Emu68 VC4 card to Picasso 96 location in libraries. Okay. Where do I find that file? Is this part of the tools that I can't copy? Okay, let me see. P96, Emu, okay. Yeah. So for installing the video card for the PiStorm, you need the Emu68-vc4.card file, and this is part of the Emu68 tools package. Now, we don't have any way to get that file in the Amiga right now, which is great because the PCMCIA is not working. So what I'm going to do is remove from the devices the monitor and move it to the storage. That way, when the system, if the system reboots, this is not going to be executed. And hopefully we are not going to have any issues because we are not asking the AmigaOS to use that monitor. We still have the PAL. Okay. So let me think what we can do. What else I have in my contact? Nothing that could help us, unfortunately. No. Okay, let me try again the PCMCIA and see if that works. SLT Snake, welcome back. Still issues, unfortunately, but we installed the Picasso 96. The problem now is that I can't get the needed file, the needed driver for the PiStorm to drive the RTG. Now, there is a way to do it. If I can install Roadshow on this system and try to connect with my FTP server. But if I had the PCMCIA working, that will be much faster. Trying to think other ways how to do it. And the PCMCIA doesn't seem to want to work, which is irritating. Let's see. It slows down all the whole system. It tries to access it, but it doesn't work. You see? If I keep it like that, and if I go to the cell and try to access it, will it be faster? Just to copy the files to the RAM. Let's see. Yeah, JMA, you are right. If I'm going to do it, I need to have a way to create an ADF file. So I need to set up WinUI on my Windows system, write all the files in the ADF, and then move that file to the Gotek USB, and then access it. Yeah, that will be a solution. Let me see if I go 6154 like that, and if I do list or dir or something, will it help? If I'm not wrong, I created a PiStorm folder and I have the tools in there, so I'm going to try to not open the icon, the device from from the workbench, but I will try to do it from the cell and see if that is faster. Another way to do it is to install a disk drive, and I also have a disk drive that can be connected through USB to the Windows PC, and that supports Amiga disks, and transfer that like that. But I would like to avoid it if possible. PiStorm. So I don't think that this is a problem of mounting the PCMCIA, because that looks like working, but it is really slow for some reason. And again, because I don't have previous experience with PiStorm, I don't know if it is a problem of the PiStorm or not. I doubt also that it could be a problem of the drivers. Now the file is named, I have it here, Emu68 tools. That's the one we copied, so I'm going to try to write it instead of using something else. Okay, let's see the music. Cool. So you see, it sees all the file system, but for some reason it's really slow. Emu68. And if I press tab, will it find it? Let's see. And if it finds it, that means I can copy it. SLD Snake says, I missed some minutes, but have you transferred the FAT95 and mount list? Yes. I mean for the Pi and Emu68 case FAT32 partition. You have to power on, off and eject the SD, but it's another internal partition for swapping later between systems. Oh, okay. Let me read it and understand what you're saying. How to transfer the FAT95 and mount list. I have FAT95 in my system. Yes. Let's see. I have FAT95 in my system installed. That's how the PCMCIA is working. Okay. Let's see how long it will take. Now, I mean for the Pi and Emu68 case FAT32 partition, you have to power on, off and eject the SD, but it's another internal partition for swapping later between systems. You mean that if you have a partition in the SD card that is FAT32, you are able to access that from your Amiga? Because if that's the case, you can have a different you can have a partition that could be used to exchange files, and this will be on your SD card. Right now I have only one FAT32 partition, which is the one that is used to boot when you start, and there is the Emu68 installed. The first partition, the Pi's SD card, it's for the Emu68K, right? Yeah, and that's the partition I use for boot. You can access that partition inside. Oh, I didn't know that. You can access it from the AmigaOS. If you go to the let me see if that works. You see, even the workbench doesn't work because it accesses the PCMCIA. Anyway, if you go to the partition editor, the application that you set up the partitions, there is a partition which is the first partition, the boot partition, right? So if you go to the HD toolbox, there is this partition. There is two partitions, one for the boot and the other is the partition that we are using to set up the partitions for the AmigaOS. So if I understand what you are saying, the only thing that you need to do is to mount the first partition, right? But if I'm not wrong, that partition is probably is read-only. And I think that this is happening to prevent someone to go and write something there or format it or something. And I think, I'm not sure, I think that this is happening as soon as you boot the PiStorm. But based on what you are saying, you mean that partition, right? Yeah, that's what I found when I was trying to learn a few things about the PiStorm. The first partition is read-only, just for security reasons. Yeah, you must edit the config. Okay, yeah, you're probably right, to make it read-write. Yeah, there is a configuration flag in the config.txt file. Yeah, you're right. But I wouldn't like to do that because, as you said earlier, if you want to transfer files there, you have to shut down the system, take off the SD card, move it to the other. Yeah, but sometimes if you don't have any other way, So we have here the tools copied to RAM. Let's go to RAM. The partition here, the how it's called, hard disk toolbox, is looking in a different SCSI device, so it is not going to find anything. I need to change the device in the tool types, like we did in the previous stream, where you need to pass this a specific device, and then you can see the partitions. We can see that later if you want. So we have the Emu68 in RAM. If we do something like list here, it's the first one. Let's do something like extracting it. Oh, it is a zip file. You see, one problem after the other. So we need the unzip. Where do we have the unzip? Do we have it? No, but we can go to the PC, take this out, connect again the external memory card reader with a USB to my Windows, and go to Aminet. Let's see, Aminet.net. Or do I have it here? Let me check. No. Okay, let me see. Unzip, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I guess that view and extract files from archive built with zip. I guess that this is fine. Zip archive extractor. There are some different versions. Let's download this. This is from 1998. This is from 1999. Pretty new. Let's sort by date and see the latest, which is this one, 552 final 68K version from 2022. Let's try this one, I say, and we'll save it in, where is it, USB drive G here. So the perfect solution for all these problems, in my opinion, would be probably to have an external CD-ROM and have everything in there, and just need an ADF file to have the drivers and install them into your system. Maybe that would be the perfect solution, but if you have a CD-ROM, it's not easy to update it, but at least you can have the some versions to start, and then you see how and then you do updates. But if the problem is the PCMCIA, as we are seeing right now, it's difficult to connect a CD-ROM to your Amiga, right? So, because again, you might have the same the exact same issues with the PCMCIA. So I don't think it's always possible to have the best ever solution about everything. Okay, let's see, does it work now? If I go again to 61, okay, like that. Let me catch up with the chat. SLT Snake says, I think I have it on the A600. I used the config in the CMD line txt, Logo purple, enable C0 slow, VC4 mem8. Okay, SD unit. Does that have to do with what we were discussing earlier about how to access the partition in SD? Is that something that you can enable with this configuration? Okay, copy, unzip, and whatever. Let's find it. Yes, the read write is for the read and write option. Okay, okay. Yeah, that will be interesting, and I guess you can do it with other partitions as well. You could have the boot like it is, and maybe you can have another partition, a third partition that is only for transferring files. Maybe. SD clock 30 because by SD extender is a little tricky. Okay, okay. Yeah. What I will try to do is to have network access. So if you have network access, you can have an FTP somewhere and use that and download whatever you want. And then if you have newer versions, you just copy these versions to your FTP server and you have them there. Actually, I have that kind of setup, but one of the things that you need to make sure is that you have to have installed something to get online, right? Either if it is Roadshow or something else like Miami or anything, you have to have that. You have to have your Amiga online somehow. So what we try to do now is to get the unzip into our Amiga under these circumstances, which is difficult, but we will get there. So dir, to find the name of the file, it should be unzip. Usually when I copy files, when I transfer files to this SD card, I usually do it from my Linux system. Now I did it from the Windows. I doubt that the Windows are so silly to mess something with the file system. It's a FAT32 after all. So I don't believe that's something to blame. The problem is somewhere else. You see how slow it is to do some dir here. This is not logical. I haven't seen that again in my life. So it might be a faulty PCMCIA or I don't know. I don't see the unzip there. Didn't I copy that to that folder or not? I think I did. Let me try that again. Pedal says that feels like something's going on with the interrupts or something like that. Possibly, yeah, possibly. It might even be that because it is a 1D1 motherboard, it doesn't work quite well with PiStorm or PiStorm and PCMCIA all together or anything. But we will make it work. SLD Snake says, weird, I used Linux to write to FFS, Windows for reading too, it never messed it up. Yeah. Only the old Windows 9X ones, yeah, possibly. Here it is, unzip, 552. You know, I'm going to write it again in case something happened, but on the Amiga side I couldn't see that file. Crazy. USB drive, it's the right one. Yes, replace it. Maybe I didn't extract the USB in the correct way. Who knows? Okay. I hope I did that correctly now. Do you think that this kind of things would dishearten people to use Amiga or even try using Amigas? Would you? That's why some people prefer to go with some ready-made distributions. So to have everything ready, but missing all the fun? What do you think? Is it better to have everything included in the system? SLT Snake says maybe this is not for everyone. I don't know. It has to do with how far you want to go, right? Aris Amiga says, I mean, it always depends on the person. Yeah, sure, that's true. For me, I would like to dig and see what is wrong. Yeah, you're right. But sometimes saying like, oh my god, I don't even have unzip and I have all this to do all these steps to have something to extract the files, it might be irritating. Dedalus says, I like to build systems from the ground up so I know what is in there. I see so many distros that go too far with their modifications. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know, distributions will not be there if people were not using them. So there should be a need. Some people enjoy their 500, their original experience, and even a P96 system, it's not good for them. Exactly, and the 500 with a red light, right? Otherwise it's not an Amiga. Dedalus OS, when? That would be great. That would be great. Dedalus OS. Yeah. I think that the ready distributions help a lot of people to have a good experience. For the PiStorm, there is the Coffee OS. I think that is available, or it was available for it. And also there is AmiKit for PiStorm, which I have seen in Amiga 38 and it looks amazing, and it works perfectly. You see the file is not there. Again. So I don't know if Windows say that it copies that there, but it doesn't. That's weird. Sorry, I'm trying to think what I can do. I think I could do something like essentials /xad and see and try to use xad library, which I think has support for zip files. Total says, I haven't seen issues like this though. It's very strange and I can well understand how it would be very frustrating. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because having a PCMCIA disk and files in there, it should be quite easy to make it work on the Amiga. And pretty fast for 1200 or 600. But that situation, I don't know. It's the first time that I have to deal with something like that. SLD Snake says, I found the mount list. It's basically LFAT95 BRCM eMMC device unit 0. Okay, that BRCM eMMC device is the one that I used last week, I think, for the hard disk toolbox. So you give it the device and the unit, and that mounts it with the read write option in CMD line txt. Okay. Okay, so if you go to the hard disk toolbox, tool types, okay, this still tries. So it is PCRM xadmaster. Okay, we need the O20. BCRM you said, and dash eMMC dot device. Yeah, right, like that. Okay. And if I recall correct, we have to put that as 0 so we don't scan too many devices. Also in AmigaOS there is in system, is there something, yeah, the mount there. So logically you could use that one as well to mount a partition, right? So if I go now and start toolbox, no. Why? Did I write something wrong? BCRM-eMMC device. Let me double check it. Yes, switch please. Okay, if you go here, BRCM-eMMC, right? You are right. BRCM-eMMC. BRCM. Hey, BRCM-eMMC. Now it is right. Okay. No? All the problems are going to appear today. If something goes wrong, everything will go wrong. Okay, PRCM-eMMC.device. Doesn't like me today. Let's see what we are going to do with the xadmaster. And we also have I think xadmaster has in the package binaries that you can use to extract files, but it's also useful if you have other applications that are using this library, the xadmaster, and you can extract files quite fast. One of these is the old Anarch that was coming with the AmigaOS 3.9. An equivalent application is called Avalanche or Avalanche. I don't know how you prefer to pronounce it, which is free of charge and you can download it from Aminet, which is pretty good. And there are other solutions as well. So we will see now, let's see, we have xadmaster. Okay, if we go to RAM and say, let's say xadmaster, let's see how it goes. It's funny though, because the system is quite stable, as you can see. We don't have any problems so far, which is pretty good. Although the PCMCIA is not working so well, but we will see how it goes. But we have to admit that we didn't have any crash and PiStorm seems quite stable. Okay, where should the docs be installed? For sure not in there. So show drives. Let me remove this PCMCIA. Cancel, okay. I usually prefer to put all the documentation in help, which is in local, if I'm not wrong. Sorry, file, local, help, English. That's where I put my documentation usually. Installation completed. Okay. So if I go to C, I should see, no pun intended, something like list xad list, right? Yeah. So if I remember correctly, if I use the xad and file, and let's see the parameters. Okay. Let me use xad and file, RAM, Emu68 this, and I think we have to say from here, from, and destination RAM. Let's see. Okay, yes I do. Give me a break. Okay, we extracted it. It's going to be a mess, but we managed to extract everything here. Perfect. So what we have here is we need, let me bring again the documentation from the PiStorm, the Emu68 repository. So what we need is the Emu68 VC4 card. Perfect. Let me move it to the other screen so I can see it while I'm on my Amiga. And that should be basically what I see here in video core folder, right? We have that file. So if we go to the cell and say copy from RAM video core Emu68 vc4.cat to libraries Picasso 96 folder, that should do the job. List libs Picasso, let me be sure that it is there. It seems to be there. So next step, go to devs monitors location on your workbench partition. You will find there the Picasso 4 icon. If you remember, and if you are watching closely my stream, we moved it to the storage to be sure in case we need to reboot the system. But now we can bring it back to Picasso, and it says you will find there the Picasso 4 icon. Either leave it with that name if you don't care, or rename it something like Emu. Let's rename it Emu68 VC4. Perfect. And then open the information, go to the tool types. Now open the information about the icon and go to the tool types, locate the entry board type and change it to here, Emu68-VC4. Okay, save. Perfect. We have some progress. Now it's the right moment to reboot your machine. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Have in mind again that we don't have the PiStorm HDMI output connected in any way with the whole system. So even if we open an RTG screen right now, we are not going to be able to see it. But we can have a look here on the next steps, because it says to set up the modes. So let's see how we can do it. Here we have the video core board, right? So what we need to do is to select it and come here and drag this to settings. If I'm not wrong, new setting, and okay, new setting, let's rename it to, it says VC4, but I think we can set it on any, and now select the video core. A mode which is not suitable for this board has been found. Mode, no board, 16 color. What do you want to do with this mode? What would you say to do? It says that we have 320 to 200 selected. That's something that it doesn't support it, but actually we are going to change it, I guess, right? So a mode which is not suitable for this board has been found. Let's say okay to all, and then let's come here and set up a simple resolution 1024 to 768. Let's say high color. Okay. Again, we can't test it because we don't have that output. Maybe we can do it on the next stream. What would you say? Would you like to see that today or maybe next stream? Yeah, let's save it for the next stream. I'm going to have a look on why the PCMCIA is not working as it should, at least. Resume here. But we've seen some tricks on how to make things work and how you can deal with problems, right? And what you will need to, how you should think of solving problems, which I find quite useful for anyone who might have the same problems in the future. It will be best, and if the PCMCIA was working well, but again, I don't know if it is a problem of the motherboard, of the PiStorm, or even the PCMCIA for some reason is not working. The SD card in this converter, if it for some reason fails to work. I have to test it on my other 1200 and see if that is working fine there. Which, if this is the case, probably something with this hardware. We will see. So for the next stream, we are going to see how we can install Picasso. I have some hardware to add into the Amiga that will help us connect a new HDMI cable for that. And yeah, that's all for today. I hope you found it useful. See me struggling with the PCMCIA today. We did update the PiStorm, which went well. We had we discussed about all these updates that came out the last days, which is great. It's perfect, and we have work to do. So yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks everyone for having the discussions on the stream, at the chat. Thank you Daedalus for being here, C277, SLD Snake, thank you for coming, FF Shock, although that I haven't seen a message from you, thank you for being here. Smarkugs, welcome and thank you for being here. John K, 4C55V. Of course, I would like to thank Clocktalion and Aris Amiga, Amiga Live that is here every time, thank you very much, and everyone who joined. I would like to see if we can watch another streamer, if we can raid someone. I don't know if you have any preference. Let me see who could we raid and continue there. I see that Amiga Live is live, so let's go there and see if anyone is playing any game and have some fun with more Amiga. Thank you again for being here. This stream went a little bit longer than I usually do, but it was fun for me, and I would like to say once more thank you. And I would like also to thank all my supporters. If you would like to follow me and what I'm doing about Amiga for AmigaOS 3, AmigaOS 4, Morphos, the applications that I develop or port, games and things like that, you can go to my Ko-fi page, Ko-fi/Volkero, and you can find a lot of information on the projects that I am working on. I'm trying every month at least to have 1 or 2 different blog posts where I explain everything that I am doing and my decisions on some stuff. So if you would like to follow me there, it's my Amiga blog, let's say. Every information is going to be there. And also I would like to thank my monthly supporters who support me in this journey. And I would like to thank Breed, Christopher White, Daniel Jedlika, Emek, who was here today, and I thank him very much, Livelord and Team Grotoms. Thanks everyone. Let's raid Amiga Live. He knows that we had a lot of fun here, but let's remind him that. And see you all next time. Bye bye.
Oh, hello. In case you were on my stream yesterday evening, or if you watched the rest of the recording, you have seen that I was struggling with making this CF card from PCMCIA to work on the PiStorm Amiga 1200 that I'm working these days. After a few hours I found a solution, and I would like to show you how it works and what exactly was the problem. So if I insert the PCMCIA card, you will see that now appears instantly on the workbench, and let's click on that, and the window opens really fast. All the contents are there, showing fast, and we have everything ready for us to use. We can copy something pretty quickly, and I will show you what was the problem actually. Now, yesterday I talked about a package that has all the necessary drivers, devices, and for the CF cards. But actually, what happened is that the included device and the included software was pretty old, and we needed for this card to work newer versions. So I created my own ADF file that I added in my Gotek, the external Gotek that I use, and this one has the latest versions of FAT95 and the CF device. Let's see here the actual version that I am using. For the compact flash device, the version is from 2017 and 1.33, and for the FAT95, the version is from 2013 and it's 3.18. Now, to find them, you have to go to Aminet. There are two packages that you need to download. One is named FAT95. .lha, and the other is cfd133.lha. If you use these files, then PCMCIA compact flashes like that are working fine and are pretty fast. So nothing was wrong with the motherboard, nothing was wrong with AmigaOS 3.2, and nothing was wrong with compatibility with the PiStorm. Everything works fine. So that's it for now. I hope to see you again on my next stream next Friday, and continue the journey with the PiStorm Amigas. Take care, see you soon, bye bye.